Okay, folks, listen carefully. Today was New Year's Day 2022. Okay, first day of the year, and we have major predictive programming that happened today at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Interestingly enough, today was also the 133rd Rose Parade. Okay, and the number 133 is important because the Space Needle in Seattle, it equals 89, 44, 133, okay? And I told you the Space Needle is going to get struck. So this video is mainly about Trump and his head wound that he's going to get on August 4th, 8-4 in Ohio. But remember, ELVIS, somehow he manifests his name, his number of his name, or his image somehow manifests around June 11th in Seattle, which connects to the Space Needle also. But like I said, this video is about Trump and his head wound. And by the way, I don't know what kind of head wound Trump is going to get, but he's going to get a head wound, and he survives his head wound. And like I said, Trump's going to get his head wound on Obama's birthday, August 4th in Ohio, 8-4. And I told you that they're the devil twins, Elvis and Trump. Not real twins, but they're, Elvis needed Trump because Elvis had a twin that died at birth. So Trump was the replacement. And I told you there's going to be twin events in 2022. And that's the June 11th Elvis event in Seattle and the Trump head wound on August 4th, Obama's birthday in Ohio. And like I said, I don't know what kind of head wound. Okay, listen carefully, okay? So today's Rose Bowl, even though it says 2021, it's played in the year 2022, which is today, the first day of the year, okay? And the two teams that played were Utah and Ohio State. And I told you Trump's going to get his head wound in Ohio, right? Now let me show you a crazy coincidences. So late into the game, the quarterback for Utah, look, he gets injured. Watch his head hit the ground. You see his head hit the ground? Look at it again. Watch his head hit the ground, and then watch his arm, his other arm. Like, watch, he kind of goes stiff right there. So this is the guy that got the head injury, and he was able to walk, later on, but he didn't play after he got injured. Let me show you his name. So remember, this is the Rose Bowl, okay? I told you the word rose is like, rose from the dead. You get it? So the guy, the quarterback, the main guy, he gets a head wound in the game, and his name is Rising. Can you believe this? Because I told you, Elvis and Trump are going to both rise from the dead, technically, Not in reality, but, Anyway, like I said, Trump heals from his deadly wound. All I'm saying is, what's the chance that this guy gets a head wound in the game, right? And this is a player on the Utah team, okay? And you know what's funny? I'm not sure if you guys think this, but he kind of reminds me of that James Franco, the actor. And notice that Trump is the 45th president, right? And it just so happens that Utah is the 45th state. So do you know what I mean? That football player who got the head wound, whose name is Rising, he plays for the Utah team, right? Look, it's got the word hat backwards, H-A-T, and use the 21st letter, the 21 hat. Anyway, let me show you what the word Utah equals. Okay, so pay attention. Utah equals 50, 14, 58, 22. Just remember those numbers for Utah. So Utah equals the same as June. June equals Utah, 50, 14, 58, 22. And remember, Donald Trump is born in June. And I told you Elvis, the devil twin, is going to return in June. To be exact, June 11th, 6/11 in Seattle. But mainly, like I said, this video is mainly about Trump getting his head wound on 8/4 in Ohio. And remember, all the connections I just showed you with the Utah, the head wound, the number 45 equaling June. I mean, the Utah equaling June, the 45th state. Anyway, they're playing Ohio State, okay, in that Rose Bowl, the Rose. And I told you Trump gets his head wound in Ohio. And by the way, I'm not going to show everything to do with Ohio in this video. Watch my videos. I've shown so many connections to it with Trump in Ohio. Look, folks, my television has a needle coming out of it. You see this? Because it's messed up and it's got a big black dot right here. But look at this. This is the basically the very last play of the game. Almost. There's only 12 seconds left in the game. And look at the score. 45-45. You see that? I told you Trump's the 45th president. Utah's the 45th state. The guy got a head wound on the Utah team. Anyway, this is Ohio State going to kick a field goal to win the game. Watch. Let's see. See, they won. Oh, I should have said spoiler alert before I showed it. Sorry. Because maybe some of you wanted to watch the game. I don't know. Anyway, let me show you the final score of the game. Okay? Look at the final score. 45-48. And why is this important? Because I told you Trump's the 45th president and he's going to get his head wound on 8/4. Look, 8/4. I mean, can you believe this? And I'm not even done. There's one more thing I need to show you. Okay, and remember, this is a rose, like rising from the dead. He rose. But I want you to see what these two teams are ranked. Their final rankings. Look. So this was Utah and this was Ohio State. Let's look at their rankings as teams. Look. Ohio is the 6th ranked team in college football. Number 6. You see it? Now let's see what Utah is. Utah is 11th ranked. You see it? You see this? 6-11. I mean, are you kidding me, man? 6-11? Is this unbelievable or what, man? You see, look at the predictive programming. And by the way, it was a 19-yard field goal. I told you the 19 is super important. Look, it was the 108th Rose Bowl that Ohio State won. And I told you Trump's going to get his head wound in Ohio. The 108th. Why is the 1-8 important? That's the day Elvis was born, 1-8. So, you know what I mean? It's the 108th, but still, it's the 1-8 number. Okay, folks, listen, I can make this video very long and complicated with, you know, tons of information, but I want to keep it simple and easy to understand. Anyway, like I said, these are my two predictions. Elvis, Seattle, June 11th, something to do with the Space Needle and all of Seattle. There might be a catastrophic event, like I said. And then Trump gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio. August 4th is Obama's birthday. Trump survives the head wound. And again, I'm just asking you, just use your brain and tell yourself, how is all these coincidences possible? That Ohio State is the 6th rank and Utah's the 11th rank, the 6-11 connection. And by the way, 6 plus 11 is 17, and the 17th state is Ohio. Okay? And 6 times 11 equals 66, and 66 equals the word twin. And I told you, Trump's, it's going to be twin events in 2022. This was the first day, and all this happened on the first day of 2022. Already all this predictive programming. And Trump is the 45th president, and the score was 48-45, and you have the 8-4 right there. You see? Ridiculous. And I'm sure a bunch of you noticed this, but the letters UU, because it's the University of Utah, UU equals 2121, which makes 42. And Elvis died at the age of 42, and Washington's the 42nd state where Seattle is. And speaking of football, and I might as well show this about the Seattle Seahawks. There's 2 games left in this year of 2021 in the regular season. And Seattle Seahawks have 5 wins and 10 losses. So listen, if they win, because I think they're playing tomorrow and then next week, if they win 1 game and lose 1 game, they'll be 6-11. Can you believe this, man? Imagine if they win 1 game and lose 1 game because there's only 2 games left in the season. They'll be 6-11. And I told you Seattle's going to get struck on 6-11. You know what I just noticed? That the kicker, his first name is Noah. Can you believe this, man? Oh, man. And I told you Noah, that Bible verse that I was telling you about was Bible verse 6:14, which is Trump's birthday, 6:14. In Genesis 6:14, it tells Noah to build an ark. I told you something big's coming for Seattle too, folks. Anyway, so by the way, the Ohio State team is called the Buckeye. And if you've been watching my videos, I've been telling you all about the Buck. I'm not going to go into everything here. Just one more thing. So, and remember, he's going to get a head wound. So there's your eye, like the one eye symbol, But notice that it's got the buck in it, right? And all throughout the year, they kept saying the buck stops with this dude, right? The Joe Biden, you know what I mean? Everything is about stopping. It ends right now, right here. That's what they're telling you. And they say the president who created that phrase, the buck stops here, was, look at this, President Trump. A true man. It's almost Trump. And look, it's got the S. S is the 19th letter. I told you the 19 is super important too. Because Seattle starts with S, Serpent starts with S, Snake starts with S. You understand? Serpent starts with S. Anyway, it sounds like his name is Trump. And who was the 33rd president? It was Truman. You see? The guy who said the buck stops here. And when was he president? Truman served from 1945 to 1953. And 1945 is 1 year before Trump was born, you see? So Truman was president during Trump's presidency. The buck stops here. Do you get it? And who won last year's NBA basketball championship? The Bucks. And I told you the word Milwaukee equals Rocket Man. And I told you Rocket Man is Elvis. You understand? Because Trump was calling the North Korean Kim Ding Dong, the North Korean dictator, Rocket Man, because Elvis is born on the same day as Kim Ding Dong from North Korea. Anyway, that's why he was saying Rocket Man, because Rocket Man is Elvis and Milwaukee equals Rocket Man. And look, the buck stops here. They won last year's NBA championship. And who won last year's Super Bowl? The Buccaneers. Do you get it? And notice their initials. T is the 20th letter, so that's 20, plus B is 2 and B is 2. 2022. Do you get it? Buccaneers. And then, like I just showed, that the Buckeyes, the Buck, won today's Rose Bowl, the 108th. And I told you Trump gets his head wound in Ohio. The buck stops with him. Anyway, folks, I can't end the video, man, because every time I just can't stop but look at this. How is it possible that they're the 6th ranked team and the 11th ranked team 6-11, man? It just never ends. Anyway, you know all the coincidences. Anyway, folks, like I said, I could go on for hours, man. Anyway, folks, just imagine this is just the beginning of all the predictive programming. It's the first day of 2022, man, and we have all of this already. Anyway, folks, end of video.